I've been part of an extensive research study that's been running nonstop for several decades. We've analyzed men and women as a whole with a control group specifically tracking church leaders and parochial school teachers. We've studied organists and even pastors, and we've come to a verifiable conclusion. We all are going to die. Now, before you tune me out and think, what is it with this guy? Just bear with me as we prepare to remember some lives well lived. A legacy, if you will. 38 years ago, on our first wedding anniversary, my wife Joanne asked me a question over dinner. Where do you think we will be living in 5 years? I gave a quick answer, trying to be as positive and confident and romantic as I could. But then she followed up with a second question. What do you want our marriage to look like in 25 years? Wow. Kind of a deep question for this 23-year-old grad school student. And like any loving husband, if I recall, I said, in 25 years on our anniversary, I'll be holding your hands and lovingly looking into your eyes and noticing your beautiful gray hair. And you know what she said in reply? Well, you're going to be a really good grandpa in 25 years. And last Sunday, all 5 of our grandchildren joined us as we went pumpkin hunting in the fields and picked some apples. It's all about the impact of our lives. That can be hard to see right now. We're busy just trying to get by day. So many things to accomplish, responsibilities and commitments we've made. But you can be sure the impact of our lives is always clearer over time. Every year on our anniversary, we ask each other some sort of similar questions. And I look forward to those discussions because it makes me really reflect on the way I'm living today. I want to read from Psalm 145 for you. Let these words paint a picture in your mind. All your works praise you, Lord. Your faithful people extol you. They tell of the glory of your kingdom and speak of your might, so that all people may know of your mighty acts and the glorious splendor of your kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures through all generations. There's a story to be told, a story that begins in your home. When I was growing up, we lived in Itasca, Illinois. I can still rattle off my address and zip code and phone number from those elementary school years. The house we lived in had been built by my grandpa, but after Grandma died, he no longer needed such a large home, so we moved in. It was a wonderful, well-built brick home. But what was especially amazing were the trees, so many trees. I learned that there was a Mark tree, and a Paul tree, and a Carolyn tree, and a Peter tree. Those are all my siblings. You see, when he lived there, Grandpa had planted a tree each time another grandchild was born. Mine was a huge pine tree as the years went on. I dug around it for years to make it easier to mow the grass under its shadow. What an amazing memory. Even though Grandpa has been in heaven for decades, I remember driving past the house and pointing out to my children where the mark tree was and telling all about great Grandpa Edmund Cameron. I invite you to watch a great example of the vision and leadership of one person and the impact his life had on generations to come. This video was shared at the Global Leadership Summit this past August.
He seems cheerful.
But he does. I haven't spotted him, but I wonder if he's made a nest hereabouts.
You'd be a fool not to. A grand old tree like this one.
How old do you suppose it is? How long do you think it's stood here?
I don't know, sir. Perhaps it's always been here.
No. I remember when this place was something quite different.
Watch your step. Some of these bogs have been known to swallow a whole pig.
I had not been aware that the park was such a very nasty place.
Nothing park-like about it, if you ask me.
The lowgrounds were steeped in the overflow and mush of pigsties and slaughterhouses. And the stench was sickening. Yet, I could see that the time would come when New York would be built into rows of monotonous straight streets and angular buildings. Only then would the priceless value of the park be fully recognized. The work was arduous. The scope of the task, almost beyond comprehension. And those who oversaw the endeavor were unqualified and liable to permit any absurdity.
They want to see results now. They want to see something beautiful.
I am making something beautiful.
Frederick, would a few geraniums kill you?
No, but they are a trifle. And I aim to make something that lasts. Something that will outlast all of us.
I often wonder,
Come on, man!
why have I undertaken such a thing? And would then recall a certain summer day and my grandfather.
A fine old tree, is it not?
It is.
Would you be surprised if I told you that I was the one who put it there?
I would indeed.
I was about your age. I went out into
He
the swamp.
described to me how he had dug it in the swamp and brought it on his shoulder and been allowed to plant it all by himself. It came to me that there was nothing in all his long life of which he was so frankly proud as the planting and the beautiful growth of this tree.
Tis wondrous what can come from a little hard work and a great deal of time.
Pardon me, sir. Might I go play now?
That is precisely what you should do. In laying out Central Park, we determined to think of no result to be realized in less than 40 years. I have all my life been considering distant effects and always sacrificing immediate success and applause to that of the future.
It's wondrous what can come from a little hard work and a great deal of time. Don't underestimate the legacy that will begin in your home and through your life. Somehow we limit ourselves in what we think we might do. It's as if we're not trusting God enough to take our simple lives and turn them into a legacy. 25 years ago, I sat with a pastor at his home down in Texas, and my life was impacted. I had asked him to sponsor me as a developing pastor, so he shared his story with me. He invited me to his home. It was there that I discovered his legacy. Yes, he had a huge church he had pastored that was built right down the street. And interestingly, Pastor Grauman had once visited St. Peter's, being on the call list to be a pastor here. I didn't realize that until we talked over the years. Anyway, I watched him from a distance, and I saw the impact he had on other Christians. I observed the way he loved and supported his church staff and all the teachers, the way the people were working together was so clear. And now, after he's long retired, his legacy continues on. And I think it was best seen in the pictures that hung in his home. His legacy. May I be so bold as to ask you to consider what impact have people of faith had on your life? What impact has your life had on others? And what do you want your home to look like in 5 years or 25 years because of your life? On the last day of some recent training that I went through, one of the leaders said something that hit home. Your time will go so quickly. I'm preparing for a Rotary position that will last a year, and I know she was talking about our term of service, but maybe we should hear it in a different way. maybe we should think that our time will go quickly and we have a legacy to leave. There was a husband and wife who left a legacy. She was a teacher in our elementary school here at St. Peter's. He was the congregational president. The Rogies both have moved on to heaven, but their impact continues today. They lived here in the neighborhood, and John would frequently come back and walk along visiting. And Marilyn sat outside in the playground for countless school recesses. When John died, their children designated the memorial gifts for the planting of trees for the next generation. 8 trees were planted in the playground and on the church grounds so that children and adults in the community will be able to enjoy the beauty and the shade for years to come. Through this series of messages about the home, I'm challenging you with some home practices. And today's is this: get outside. Walk outside your home, appreciate the surroundings, and consider the lasting impact that you can have on others around you and in your community, now and well beyond your years. Now, it might not have anything to do with trees. That's not the point of this whole message. What impact will your life have as you point to the goodness of God? May God bless your legacy as you extend the kingdom of God from your home. And fellow believers, please remember what a little hard work and a great deal of time can have as you make an impact that will far outlive you. Our biblical blessing today talks about our legacy from Psalm 71. Even when I am old and gray, do not forsake me, my God, till I declare your power to the next generation, your mighty acts to all who are to come.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. God of your promise, you don't speak in vain, no syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you said. If it all reveals your nature so alive, if the stars worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. God of salvation, you chased down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On a hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak,